There's lots of things and reactions coming in. We've just spoken with Shivraj Chauhan also, who's in Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh, no longer chief minister, but still hoping to deliver a seat in the Lok Sabha. Who knows, if he wins, might become a union cabinet minister at some point in time. Okay, quick, George Kurian, if he's still with us, can he still with us? Okay, all right, okay. Let's listen into Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Be back. Let's listen into this.
वोट डालने
इस बार मध्यप्रदेश से कितनी सीटें मिलेगी? एक कदम बस दूरी पे है।
बीजेपी 400 पार करेगी निश्चित तौर पर। प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी के प्रति निष्ठा, उनके प्रति विश्वास और भक्ति का भाव।
हमने देखा कि सर 2019 के लोकसभा चुनाव में 28 सीटें जीती थी, अब 2024
जीतने वाले हैं,
29 जीतेंगे। तो यहाँ पे लाडली बहना भी बड़ी संख्या में, लाडली बहना का असर इस बार लोकसभा चुनाव में देखने को मिलेगा।
बहनों का आशीर्वाद सदैव से मिलता रहा, अभी भी मिल रहा है।
प्रियंका गांधी, राहुल गांधी जो आरक्षण की बात कर रहे हैं, 50% से अधिक
जनता को भ्रमित करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। जनता भ्रम में नहीं आने वाली। कांग्रेस चुनाव को मुद्दों से भटकाना चाहती है।
राहुल गांधी हाथ में संविधान की कॉपी दिखाते हैं हर सभा के दौरान।
वो नाटक कर रहे हैं, झूठ बोल रहे हैं।
चुनाव को देख रहे हैं, 10 सीटों पर मतदान हो रहा है उत्तर प्रदेश।
10 की 10 भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतेगी। उसके पीछे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इन सभी लोकसभाओं पर या तो सीधे आए हैं या कंबाइंड रूप से 2 लोकसभाओं का रैली की है और मुख्यमंत्री जी लगभग हर लोकसभा में 2 या 3 बार आए हैं। तो केंद्र की योजनाएं, राज्य की योजनाएं, राज्य का लॉ एंड ऑर्डर बहुत अच्छा है और संगठन ने भी कमाल की मेहनत की है सबकी वजह से। और लोग अब सड़क, स्कूल, बिजली, पानी, नाली, खरंजा या फाइनल रिपोर्ट, चार्जशीट, बंदूक के लाइसेंस से थोड़ा सा ऊपर उठ के भारत को विकसित राष्ट्र बनाना, तीसरे नंबर की अर्थव्यवस्था, सुपर पावर बनाने के लिए और विश्व गुरु बनाने के लिए मोदी जी के हाथों को मजबूत कर रहे हैं।
सभी प्रभाव कई लोग चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं मैदान में, उसी चरण में चुनाव है।
नहीं, पहले भी लड़ चुके हैं और हार भी चुके हैं, जिसमें डिम्पल यादव 2 जगह हार चुकी हैं। मजेदार बात है, हारने की बात नहीं होती। जैसे मैं फिरोजाबाद हारा तो वो हार मेरी हार इसलिए निकल आएगी कि मैं उनके क्षेत्र में जाकर के लड़ा, लेकिन अपने क्षेत्र में डिम्पल यादव हारी हैं, धर्मेंद्र अपनी बदायूं हारे हैं, अक्षय यादव फिरोजाबाद हारे हैं। बीएसपी से अच्छा, ये गठबंधन एक दूसरे को गाली देने वाले, एक दूसरे के अपोजिट हत्या करने की प्रयास करने वाली पार्टियां केवल मोदी जी की लोकप्रियता से एक हुई थी। उसके बावजूद तो अब तो अखिलेश यादव पछता भी रहे होंगे कि ऐसे गठबंधन से क्या फायदा कि बहन जी ने तो 10 जिता लिए और हमारे परिवार के 3 हार गए, इसीलिए गठबंधन टूटा था।
आपकी लोकसभा की बात की जाए तो कहीं ना कहीं किसको सामने मान रहे हैं, किसको देख रहे हैं?
ईमानदारी की बात है, आपको भी पता है कि कोई सामने आमने है नहीं है। अभी 7:30 या 7:45 हो रहे होंगे। जो 11 बजे तक इलेक्शन हो जाएगा। 11 बजे के बाद जो भी मतदान होगा वो निकटतम प्रतिद्वंदी से, निकटतम तो यहाँ तो निकटतम शब्द भी इस्तेमाल नहीं करना चाहिए, दूरस्थ प्रतिद्वंदी से बस 11 बजे के बाद जो मतदान पड़ेगा वो लीड बढ़ाने वाला होगा।
अगर कि उत्तर प्रदेश में 80 सीटें और 400 पार का नारा, उत्तर प्रदेश में कितनी?
दोनों बातें सही होंगी, जनता सिद्ध करेगी।
अक्षय यादव जी हमारे साथ मौजूद है। अक्षय जी, क्या कहेंगे, आप अपना वोट कास्ट करके आए हैं?
जी बिल्कुल, हमने वोट डाला है और सभी से यही अपील कर रहा हूँ कि सब लोग मतदाता जितने भी हैं सारे लोग वोट डालने का काम करें।
आज पूरा सैफई परिवार चुनाव लड़ रहा है, चाहे वो मैनपुरी, फिरोजाबाद की सीट की बात करें तो क्या कहेंगे?
इंडिया गठबंधन हर जगह चुनाव जीत रहा है और आने वाला समय इंडिया गठबंधन की सरकार बनाने का है।
पिछले कुछ फेजेस में वोट प्रतिशत उतना नहीं हुआ, तो इस बार क्या अपील है आप लोगों की, आप क्या कहेंगे वोटर्स?
नहीं, हम लोगों ने मतदाताओं को जागरूक करा है, परसेंटेज बढ़ाने की हम लोग की कोशिश है।
हमारे साथ अक्षय यादव मौजूद थे जो बता रहे हैं कि इस बार वोटिंग प्रतिशत बढ़ेगा और सीधे तौर पर उनका कहना है कि पूरा सैफई परिवार इस बार चुनाव मैदान में है और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग मताधिकार का प्रयोग करें और सैफई परिवार बड़ी बढ़त हासिल करेगा। कैमरामैन अरशद के साथ अभिषेक सिंह, इंडिया न्यूज़, सैफई। प्रोफेसर राम गोपाल यादव साहब हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। आप अपने मताधिकार का प्रयोग करके आए प्रोफेसर साहब, एक बार दिखाइए दर्शकों को। इस बार कई सारी बातें कही जा रही हैं। मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ कह रहे हैं राम भक्तों और रामद्रोहियों के बीच चुनाव है।
जब आदमी हारने लगता है तो बौखला जाता है और बौखलाहट में जो बात आती है उसमें कोई सेंस नहीं होता है, सारी बातें सेंसलेस होती हैं। सन्निपात की स्थिति में पहुंच गए बीजेपी के नेता, उनके मुंह से क्या निकलेगा, क्या उसका अर्थ होता है, उसको खुद नहीं समझते हैं।
आज पूरा सैफई परिवार मैदान में है चुनाव के, क्या कहेंगे?
सारे लोग चुनाव जीतने जा रहे हैं, बहुत बड़े मार्जिन से जीतने जा रहे हैं। डिम्पल पहले से ज़्यादा लगभग 5 लाख के मार्जिन से जीतेगी, नोट कर लीजिए।
आप लोग कह रहे हैं कि संविधान खत्म किया जा सकता है?
यस ऑफ कोर्स भाई, लगातार लोग कह रहे हैं बीजेपी के उम्मीदवार कह रहे हैं, इम्पोर्टेंट नेता कह रहे हैं कह रहे 400 पार इसलिए चाहिए कि संविधान बदलना है। और सतीश गौतम अलीगढ़ से हैं, आपने देखा होगा वीडियो, उनकी चुनावी सभा में उनकी बहुत बड़ी नेत्री क्या कह रही थी कि संविधान बदलना इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि जो लोग हमारी जूतियां साफ करते थे वो हमारे बराबर बैठने लगे। तो जब ये मानसिकता हो और पूरी तरह से संविधान तो लिख लिया है, दूसरा इन्होंने 18,000 पेज की जो रिपोर्ट दी है कोविंद ने, उसमें यही है।
लेकिन सरकार के लोग कह रहे हैं 10 साल से हम बहुमत में थे, अगर संविधान में कुछ बदलना होता तो हम पहले ही कर सकते थे।
नहीं, अब वो डिक्टेटरशिप की तरफ जाना। 10 साल के बहुमत के बाद ऐसा है, लॉर्ड एक्टर ने कहा था कि पावर करप्ट्स एंड एब्सोल्यूट पावर करप्ट्स एब्सोल्यूटली। तो जब एब्सोल्यूट पावर हो जाती है तो फिर आदमी तानाशाही की तरफ बढ़ने लगता है। हिटलर भी जनता के द्वारा चुन के आया था और संविधान में संशोधन करके वो तानाशाह बन गया था। दुनिया जानती है, उसी रास्ते पर ये चल रहा है।
देखिए, हम लोग जो आए हैं वोट करने के लिए, तो हम लोग सोचे हैं कि इस बार जो भी सरकार बनेगी, हम लोग उन सरकार से हम लोग रोजगार के लिए बात करेंगे कि रोजगार हो। हम लोग युवा वर्ग के हैं तो हम लोग को रोजगार मिले।
मुद्दा तो अभी स्थानीय मुद्दा है, रोड नहीं बना हुआ है, पानी का व्यवस्था नहीं है, यही सब है मुद्दा, और बेरोजगारी का मुद्दा है।
सड़क स्टेशन रोड का जो हमारा मेन सड़क है वो 10 साल से खराब है, बन ही नहीं रहा है, यही मुद्दा है।
10 साल से तो यहाँ पे एनडीए के ही सांसद है, उन्हीं की सरकार रही है।
जी हाँ, उन्हीं की एनडीए के सांसद रहे हैं, लेकिन कुछ नहीं हुआ। कितना हूँ कह गए, कोई सुनवाई नहीं। पीएचडी का पाइप फूटा हुआ है पीएचडी के गेट के सामने, उसको कह के थक गए, वो भी नहीं बना रहे हैं। तो मामूली छोटा मोटा काम भी नहीं कर पा।
प्रोग्रेस ऑफ इंडिया, भारत का जो प्रगति होना चाहिए, जो हो रहा है वो कंटिन्यू रहना है, तो हमारा वोटिंग बहुत ज़रूरी है।
सर, मैं आपसे भी पूछना चाहूँगा, यू आर द फर्स्ट पर्सन जिन्होंने वोट किया और इतना सुबह आप आ गए, तो आपके हिसाब से क्या इश्यूज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा?
हम लोग अभी जो देख रहे हैं, सही बात है, हम लोग मोदी जी के लिए देख रहे हैं, पूरा भारतवर्ष देख रहा है, पूरा दुनिया देख रहा है। हमको अच्छा लीडरशिप चाहिए, वो मोदी जी के होते हुए किसी के हाथ में नहीं है। हम लोग जो भी वोट कर रहे हैं मोदी जी के लिए कर रहे हैं।
आई वुड वोट फॉर स्टेबिलिटी, बी इट दैट इन द गवर्नमेंट और इन दी activities or development. It can be any party, Congress, BJP, doesn't matter. As long as there is a stability, the country will progress. So that will be my primary, lookout for voting.
See, basically, in these 75 years, हमने इतना development देखा ही नहीं है. Okay, India has become one of the global powers. Okay, that is the reason everyone has to vote and make the nation.
Okay, you're getting all those perspectives, pulses, is helping you understand where the trends are going. Amit Shah casting his vote in the bottom left of his screens, where my colleague Uday Pratap Singh is standing by. Uday, a lot of buzz this morning, a lot of people have gathered. Of course, this is just not yet another contest, but it is candidate Shah.
Absolutely, Rishabh. In fact, we are at that very polling booth in Narayanpura. We've been here since the morning. You can see Home Minister Amit Shah has just cast his vote. He's accompanied by son Jai Shah and his daughter-in-law. The entire family has cast their vote, of course, right now. Amit Shah, the candidate, of course, coming to cast his vote. He's spoken also to voters around here. Shortly after, he will offer prayers at the Kameshwar Mandir next door, and then he will give a bite to the media as well. Remember, in the morning, of course, he had gone with Prime Minister Modi along with Modi at the Rane booth, where Prime Minister himself had cast his vote as well. Shortly, of course, as I said, Amit Shah will be speaking. You can see he's accompanied by his entire family. Amit Shah, of course, contesting from Gandhinagar for a second time. The BJP hoping to increase his margin. Last time, of course, it was 5.6 lakhs, as you can see there. Amit Shah, along with his wife, has just cast his vote. Amit Shah ji, of course, meeting with workers, with local voters here as well. And of course, he's cast his vote. Amit Shah ji, आप लोगों को भी आग्रह करेंगे. He will speak shortly in a bit as well. He will speak in a bit as well because remember, of course, the periphery, outside the periphery of the polling booth is where, of course, he can speak right now. As I told you earlier, he's going to the Kameshwar Mandir where he will offer prayers. This is the famous Kameshwar Mandir of Narayanpura in Ahmedabad, where, of course, Amit Shah is going to offer prayers after casting his vote. Amit Shah, of course, seeking the blessings of the divine for his second successive election from Gandhinagar. Last time the margin was 5.6 lakhs. The BJP is hoping hoping to up that. They've set a target of 10 lakhs. Remains to be seen whether they'll achieve that or not. He's up against Sonal Patel this time of the Congress party. All the heavyweights of Gujarat, of course, casting their vote this morning, Rishabh. We saw earlier, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Ranip within the first hour of voting had, of course, gone there to cast his vote. And now Amit Shah offering prayers. This is the famous Mahadev Mandir here. Mahadev Baba ka ye mandir hai. Yahan pe Kameshwar is the name of the temple. And of course, people here have gathered as well to catch a glimpse of their leader. They were sloganeering also when Amit Shah arrived. A lot of people, of course, are very proud. आप बताना चाहेंगे, आप यहाँ के वोटर हैं, यहाँ खुद गृह मंत्री भी अपना वोट देने आएंगे. क्या कहेंगे गृह मंत्री के चांसेस के बारे में इस बार?
हमारे देश में नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन का रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर होते ही फिर से माननीय अमित भाई शाह साहब गृह मंत्री बनने वाले हैं और देश में ऐसा बदलाव करेंगे.
आपने किस इशू को लेकर वोट डाला आज? आपने किस मुद्दे को लेकर आज वोट?
यहाँ हमारे गांधीनगर लोकसभा के डेवलपमेंट के बारे में ऐसे उनको वोट दिया है और 370 राम मंदिर जैसे मुद्दे पर भी हमने बीजेपी को वोट दिया है.
आप बताइए मेन इशू आपके लिए क्या था इस बार?
जो अब तक कांग्रेस जो बातें कर रही थी कि राम मंदिर बनवाएंगे तो कुछ कर नहीं पाए. जो इस बार अमित भाई करके दिखा दिया. 370 की कलम युवाओं को जो रोजगारी दे रहे उसके हिसाब से हम लोग वोट देंगे.
Lot of security presence, of course, also over here, Rishabh, because clearly, of course, it is the country's home minister that has come to vote at this polling booth. We saw earlier to Chief Minister Bhupendra Bhai Patel. He's also a voter of Gandhinagar. He had also cast his vote in Shilaj. We are also expecting, of course, Chief Governor of Uttar Pradesh to be here shortly, Anandiben Patel. In fact, now you can see slight movement beginning after offering prayers. Amit Shah ji will come out, and then, of course, there's a special booth that has been made over here, an orange colored booth as you can see there, which is where he will give a bite to the media as well. He will speak on the polling today in Gujarat, will of course encourage others to also cast their vote. So clearly, of course, prayers continuing. Amit Shah and his wife offering prayers at the Kameshwar temple as we speak. He's of course cast his vote. We'll also keep trying to talk to some more people here. Ma'am, आप भी आई हैं यहाँ वोट डालने के लिए. What is the main issue आपके लिए इस बार?
कोई इशू नहीं है, बस सिर्फ आज अब की बार मोदी सरकार.
मोदी जी के काम से खुश हैं. अमित शाह जी यहाँ खुद प्रत्याशी हैं. तो गर्व महसूस करते हैं आप?
बहुत ही गर्व महसूस करते हैं. उनको देखने के लिए काफी घंटे से खड़े हैं यहाँ पे. हाँ, मोदी आप तो कौन है जो आई?
कौन है अंदर मंदिर में अभी? किसी फीलिंग शायद. आप बताइए मैम, आपके लिए मेन इशू इस बार क्या था?
बस मोदी जी आ जाए.
Okay. In fact, we can get a better view. I'll request my video journalist to just quickly zoom in here because we can see the Home Minister. Just come this side, Vijay Sudhir, and you can see the Home Minister very, very clearly here, along with his wife offering prayers there. As you can see, Aarti is being performed here this morning at the Kameshwar temple. This is a tradition that the Shah family follows every year. This is, of course, the polling booth of Amit Shah. His old society is also here in the neighborhood. In fact, he had gone there a short while back. He will be spending, we're told through our sources, most of the day today in Gujarat, as it is polling day here. 25 out of 26 seats are, of course, going to the hustings today over here. Amit Shah will also be going to various polling booths here in Gandhinagar constituency, making sure that everything is happening in a foolproof manner. We'll be also meeting with booth karyakartas, encouraging them as well. Remember, that's something that we saw Narendra Modi also do earlier, where he spoke, of course, to voters. There you can see Amit Shah is, of course, now exiting from the mandir. The Home Minister has just offered prayers after casting his vote. It is hot and humid, so of course the Home Minister, of course, is you can see sweating profusely, as are most of us, but that is not daunting voters, interestingly, where we are seeing healthy numbers come in this morning of a lot of voters. We hope that that trend continues in the afternoon as well, when polling tends to dip in most of the northern western parts, where of course temperatures are soaring. Last time around in 2019, the percentage had actually gone up 1% from what it was in 2014. It had gone up to 65%. Last time it was 64 overall in 2014. We wait and watch what the number is this time around. And as you can see, of course, now there is another deity on the right, which Amit Shah ji has gone to. On the left as well, he will be doing an entire parikrama before, of course, he will come out and then speak with the media as well. So these are the live visuals we are showing you right here on NewsX. कुछ और लोगों से बातचीत करेंगे. जी, आप बताइए मेन इशू आपके लिए इस बार क्या है?
कोई इशू नहीं है. हर हर महादेव.
अच्छा, कोई हिंदुत्व के नाम पे आप वोट डालेंगे?
यस सर.
मेन समस्या यहाँ क्या है? विकास क्या कितना हो पाया?
गांधीनगर में।
विकास आपको ही दिख रहा है सर? विकास की कोई बात?
Okay, as you can see, more visuals now. Amit Shah ji also showing the victory sign over there. As slogans, of course, come of Har Har Mahadev, because this is a Mahadev Baba ka temple. This also Jai Shri Ram sloganeering. Also, you can see we will now slowly also move towards the area where Amit Shah ji will be giving a bite very, very shortly. I'll request my video journalist to stay with me in the frame as we move there to, of course, the place where Amit Shah ji will be speaking to the media. Remember, there is, of course, Election Commission rules where the candidate is expected to speak only after a certain perimeter, and he will be speaking with the media there, talking, of course, about the Gujarat polling numbers today, and, of course, encouraging others to vote. So, Amit Shah, of course, also one of the morning voters here. The Prime Minister has also cast his vote earlier today, and we are quickly going to just quickly go into the periphery. एक सेकंड, अरे साहब हम तो मीडिया से, एक सेकंड आओ फटाफट। लगा जल्दी, आ जाओ माइक तो रख दो। बस वो बड़ी रोड साइड ना बता, गुरु माइक तो जोड़ो। ये लो भाई माइक।
ए भाई तू रवा दे ने बोल कर ओ ए सांभळता नहीं तमे भाई बेसी जाओ नीचे अरे नीचे बेस भाई भाई वो माइक
वो ले ले
चलो आज 2024 चुनाव के तीसरे चरण का दिन है। मैं देश भर के सभी मतदाताओं को और गुजरात के मतदाताओं को भी मन से विनती करना चाहता हूं कि बढ़ चढ़कर लोकतंत्र के इस महोत्सव में हिस्सा ले। स्थिर सरकार, सुरक्षित देश, समृद्ध देश, गरीब कल्याण और भारत गौरव को समर्पित एक सरकार चुनिए। एक ऐसी सरकार चुनिए जो भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ हो, गरीबी का उन्मूलन करना चाहती हो, आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाना चाहती हो, विकसित भारत बनाना चाहती हो और पूरे विश्व में हर क्षेत्र में भारत को नंबर 1 ले जाना चाहती हो। आज इतनी चिलचिलाती धूप के बावजूद भी अब तक बहुत उत्साहजनक वोटिंग के ट्रेंड मिल रहे हैं। जहां तक गुजरात का सवाल है, करीब करीब 20% वोटिंग 2.5 घंटे में ही गुजरात के मतदाताओं ने समाप्त किया है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है देश भर में आज जहां जहां मतदान है वो सभी मतदाता और गुजरात के मतदाता एक ऐसी सरकार चुनेंगे जो स्थायित्व भी देगी, सुरक्षा भी देगी, समृद्धि भी देगी, गरीबी से मुक्त भारत बनाएगी। मैं आज के लोकतंत्र के इस पर्व के अवसर पर सभी देशवासियों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और फिर से एक बार पुरजोश वोटिंग कर लोकतंत्र के इस पर्व में हिस्सा लेने की अपील करता हूं। आज देश में तीजा चरण मतदान है। गुजरातनी वधेली 25 से 25 सीटों पर आज मतदान थवानुं छे। हूँ गुजरातनी जनता ने विशेष करी फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर ने अपील करवा मांगू छूं। केवी सरकार माटे આપણે સૌ વોટિંગ કરીએ જે દેશને સ્થિરતા આપે, સુરક્ષા આપે, સમૃદ્ધ બનાવે, ગરીબીનું સંપૂર્ણ ઉન્મૂલન કરે અને વિકસિત અને આત્મનિર્ભર ભારતની રચના કરે। એક એવી સરકાર આપણે ચૂંટીએ જે સમગ્ર વિશ્વમાં દરેક ક્ષેત્રમાં ભારત નંબર 1 બને એવી સરકાર અને એવા પક્ષ માટે આપ સૌ વોટિંગ કરો એવી મારી આપ સૌને અપીલ છે। લોકશાહીના આ મહોત્સવમાં સૌ ગુજરાતીઓ દર વખતની જેમ રંગે ચંગે ઉત્સાહથી ઉમંગથી भारी संख्या में वोटिंग करे અને અંતે આપનું વોટિંગ જ ભારતના વિજયનું કારણ બનશે એનો મને વિશ્વાસ છે। વંદે માતરમ। ખૂબ ખૂબ શુભેચ્છાઓ।
Amit Shah, the Home Minister candidate, of course, from Gandhinagar, along with his wife, casting their vote. Along, of course, he was canvassing in the housing societies a bit earlier and accompanying the Prime Minister as he cast his vote this morning. So yes, they are hoping that of the 25 seats remaining in Gujarat, remember Surat has already been declared for the Bharatiya Janata Party as a no contest seat, that of the 25 that this is going to be a sweep. Alok Mehta joining this morning, Nikhil Jain still with us, Xavier Rodriguez still with us. Alok ji, quick thoughts before I go back to our reporters on the ground to get a perspective on Amit Shah himself. He's going to win the seat of Gandhinagar. I don't think there's any threat to him losing the particular seat. But in the electoral process, remember in 2014 when Narendra Modi came to power, Amit Shah was party president. He's now been Home Minister. How has he evolved as a politician, as an administrator?
Shabhi, very good morning. I think it's a great success for a democracy. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself and Home Minister Amit Shah. It's a rare occasion now. Same state and then both are voting and they struggled, especially Mr. Modi was struggling. That's why I wanted to mention about it, because I have seen those days when he was underground working in Ahmedabad and I was posted in Ahmedabad. So you can imagine, in emergencies, nobody imagined when there will be election. What Mr. Modi was feeling at the time, Mishra ji must be not so, he was a teenage age, but even then I think for Modi also is a very historical, and for India, it proves that if you struggle against emergency or any dictatorship, then you can go ahead and become a Prime Minister of India from a poor family. That's why I first recall his struggle with all thousands and thousands of people worked there. So I feel for Amit Shah also, because they have targeted the people of their workers, because he worked in booth to booth. He started his career like Mr. Modi, that one should work for the society in every...
You know, Alok ji, you were mentioning last time we were speaking, that when Narendra Modi used to be putting up posters, Amit Shah would be driving the scooty. So, you know, they've come a long way. Whatever happens this election one way or the other, they've come a long way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because Amit Shah was like Hanuman for him, because Modi ji started in Surat and then he shifted to work for a party in Ahmedabad, most of the time as an RSS worker also. So he was moving around and he was very in a poorly family, and all the time he was struggling. He never bothered for the money and everything. Amit Shah was from a rich family, very good family, but even say, चांदी के चम्मच से वाले family में पैदा हुए या उनके परिवार के लोग उस तरह के थे. That's why I feel that they both worked and still they are working. Because, you know, if you have a post office like this letter box and anybody want to complain, then this kind of work Amit Shah did. That's why they are winning. If you forget our constituency, your constituency, because you become a so strong leader, And maybe after freedom struggle, people like Nehru and others, they thought that we have to work for the whole country. But they also work for the constituency, the Amit Shah and the Modi. That's why this is the secret of the success.
All right. Okay, just stay with us. Let's. We are trying to interject this as often as possible. We've got 19 reporters in 19 different constituencies as we speak. Joining us now on the broadcast, Mohammad Afsar is in Budaun in Uttar Pradesh. Very, very interesting battle happening in Budaun as we speak. Belly Thomas is in Shimoga. Abhishek is joining us from Mainpuri. Remember, Mainpuri is a constituency which is seeing Akhilesh Yadav's wife Dimple Yadav contesting against Jaiveer Singh of the Bharatiya Janata Party. In Budaun as we speak, Durvajay Sakya is against Aditya Yadav, who is the son of Shivpal Yadav, so a cousin of Akhilesh Yadav contesting over there. Last time the Bharatiya Janata Party had won the seat. This time they've changed the candidate for this seat. So let's hit the ground running with Mohammad Afsar. Mohammad, what are the people saying? मुद्दा क्या है मतदान करने वालों का?
बिल्कुल, मैं आपको सीधी तस्वीरें दिखाता हूं क्योंकि मैं इस वक्त वेदा मऊ कॉलेज के बाहर खड़ा हूं और वेदा मऊ ही पुराना नाम है बदायूं का। सामने तस्वीरें देखिए, बहुत ही अच्छी खासी भीड़ और यही सबसे खूबसूरत तस्वीर है आज की, क्योंकि पिछली बार यहां का वोटिंग परसेंटेज 2019 की बात करें तो कम था, 51% के आसपास था, लेकिन इस बार सुबह से ही भीड़ अच्छी खासी दिख रही है। बिल्कुल, लोग सुबह से लाइन में लग करके वोट दे रहे हैं। 22 लाख के करीब वोटर्स हैं यहाँ पर। देखिए, वोटर सामने आ रहे हैं। आपने वोट दे दिया सर?
हाँ, वोट डाल के आए।
क्या सोच करके वोट दिया आपने?
अरे जो आगे होगा अच्छा होगा।
आपने क्या सोच के वोट दिया सर?
अच्छी सरकार चले, बढ़िया वो हो हमारा, यानी कि रोजगार मिले।
बिल्कुल, रोजगार सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा है और देश के रोजगार को लेकर के वोट दिया। बिल्कुल, तो इस तरीके से देखिए कि लोग, आपने वोट दे दिया सर? मैं प्रिंसिपल। अच्छा, आप वोट देने जा रहे हैं? अच्छा, ये सब अभी लोग वोट देने जा रहे हैं। तो जो लोग भी, अच्छा आपने वोट दे दिया, पीछे की तरफ देखिए, यहाँ पर लोगों ने वोट दे दिया। आपने वोट दे दिया सर? सबसे पहले वो तस्वीर दिखाइए, क्योंकि लोकतंत्र की ये सबसे खूबसूरत तस्वीर होती है, ये उंगली पर जो ये निशान है। क्या सोच करके वोट दिया सर आपने?
ये हमने दिया कि अपनी मोदी सरकार घर की जो है अच्छा काम कर रही है और बढ़िया देश से थोड़ा अच्छा काम हो रहा है, हमने इस विषय में वोट दिया है हमने।
अच्छा, और सबसे बड़ी बात बदायूं की बताएं कि करीब 50% यहाँ पर महिला वोटर्स है, तो महिलाओं का योगदान सबसे ज्यादा होने वाला है इस बार। तो क्या सोच करके वोट दिया मैम इस बार?
हम मोदी जी को जिताने के लिए वोट दिया है।
मोदी अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं मोदी जी।
अच्छा, आपने वोट दे दिया? बिल्कुल, ये निशान आपके पास है, ये खूबसूरत तस्वीर। क्या सोच करके वोट दिया आपने?
मोदी सरकार को जिताने के लिए, मोदी सरकार जीते और गरीब लोगों के लिए और भी मदद करे।
लेकिन क्यों मोदी सरकार को, क्यों?
क्योंकि वो अच्छे हैं ना, वो सब लोगों की मदद कर रहे हैं, इस वजह से।
ओके, अच्छा, ओके मोहम्मद, लेट्स सी,
वो शौचालय दे रहे हैं, सिलेंडर मिल रहा है लोगों को, गरीबों को भी सुविधा मिल रही है। बताओ, इस बार मोदी सरकार बढ़िया।
ओके, इंटरेस्टिंग। नाउ दिस इज वन पोलिंग बूथ इन वन प्लेस इन Budaun. Does that give us a trend? I don't know, but is it a dipstick test? Yes, it is. The dipstick is telling you pretty much in one direction for Budaun this time around. It is a very interesting battle because Aditya Yadav is hoping to make a dramatic comeback. The Samajwadi Party's hopes and dreams are in this phase. Their key proponents are fighting, minus Akhilesh, are all fighting in this phase. And it's crucial for them that they do well in this seat. But you've heard the people from Budaun, they seem to be talking about one direction. Let's see what happens. Can we hop across to Abhishek? Abhishek, meanwhile, is in Mainpuri. Mainpuri, where Dimple Yadav is contesting from. She's up against Jaiveer Singh. Abhishek, मतदाता क्या बोल रहे हैं, क्या मुद्दे हैं उनके आज सुबह?
Yeah, right now we are at Saifai, Abhinav Vidyalaya Saifai. This is the only polling station where the Saifai family is going to cast their vote. Early in the morning, Akshay Yadav, son of Ram Gopal Yadav, has casted his vote with his wife. Ram Gopal Yadav has casted his vote, and Abhay Ram Yadav, the younger brother of late Mulayam Singh Yadav and the eldest in the family, has casted his vote. And after some minutes, you can see Akhilesh Yadav can any time come here, Samajwadi Party chief, with his wife Dimple Yadav to cast his vote. And you can see people from the morning onwards are here for putting their votes. And because the Saifai family and the polling station is called to be the VVIP.
Okay. Yes, Abhishek, it will be highly useful if we now come across and speak to some of the voters. I'm going to give you a chance to move your camera around so that we can hear some voices on the ground. I'm just going to come back to you, Belly. Meanwhile, let's hop across the country into Shimoga and Karnataka. Belly, what are people around you saying now?
Certainly, Rishabh. I have a youth standing here. Like, what's your name?
Tilak.
Okay, so Tilak, what are the issues in this constituency, if you can say?
I don't think that there are so many issues here, but there are some issues like the railway station facilities. We have to travel from here to Shimoga to go to Bangalore from other states. So I'm requesting government to construct railway station facilities. And the main reason is that we don't have some suitable diploma colleges here.
Okay.
We have to travel from Sorba, their side, to study diploma engineering.
Okay, so Tilak is a student who has mobility issues, and what about you? What's your name?
I am Kaushik.
Okay, so what are the issues that you face in this constituency?
I think rural party are doing very well, but we need they concentrate on government colleges, faculties and infrastructures. They must improve the infrastructure of government colleges, and they improve a lot of lectures. We need the main reason. Enough.
So do you think your leader whom you're going to vote would address all these issues?
Yes, but I don't address, but they know how to improve. I think they improve very well.
Okay, so these are some of the voters, and let's cut across issues. ಏನು issues ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಎರಡು ಪಕ್ಷ ಇದೆ.
Okay, so this is a voter who says that everything is fine here, and he just would want to go ahead with voting.
Yeah, Belly, carry on. Let's carry on. We can hear more voices. You can translate for us. Please go ahead.
Yes. Ma'am, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? नेशनल चैनल
क्या सभी बीजेपी अच्छा करिए.
Okay, so she is interested in BJP, and ma'am, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ?
ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಯಾವ ಥರ
ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್.
No problems at all. And
no problem.
Okay, you ma'am?
ಏನಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಮಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದ.
Okay, let's ask a few people here. ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ?
ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ.
Okay, ನಿಮ್ದು?
ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
So all these women say that they don't have any problems.
Okay, all right, Belly, like I said, there is when a camera comes on, okay, but a lot of people love to crib on camera, that this is a chance to complain. You're hearing people saying in Shimoga, we are very happy with what's going on. Now, whether happy with what's going on in Karnataka because they chose D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah to form the government there, or happy with what's going on in the country, we'll just find out. Let me go back across to Mainpuri to get a perspective of what the people are saying before I come back to my guest. Abhishek, let's try to speak to a few people this time around, please.
Yeah, the preparations are being done for Akhilesh Yadav. Samajwadi Party chief is very soon here to cast his vote. Meanwhile, you can see the family members, cousins, niece, nephews of Akhilesh Yadav and the Saifai family are coming for casting their votes, and you can see the alert is being done for Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party chief. Any moment he can come here to cast his vote. The circle is being made a periphery by police people.
Yeah.
So that he can come first, cast his vote. Some of the security people who are with Akhilesh Yadav, a moment before they came to the media persons and were asking them to please come forward so that he should first cast his vote and then he will say something to the media.
Okay,
and
all right.
Any moment.
Okay, we'll come back to you as soon as that happens. Of course, heavy security there at that polling booth, and we'll try to speak to the voters immediately after Akhilesh Yadav has cast his vote. Safai, of course, the hometown, the literally where we live, the address of Akhilesh Yadav in Uttar Pradesh, where of course his father held sway not too long ago. Okay, I'm going to thank our reporters. I'm going to keep Abhishek in from Mainpuri because we'll hop across to there. Let me introduce our guests with us at this point of time. Alok Mehta I've already introduced. Xavier Rodriguez is still with us. Let's take the opportunity to hop across back to them, Nikhil, George and the others. So Savio, let me quickly come to you because I know you have to go cast your vote. So let me just quickly touch base with you. Now, we are absorbing these things. We are absorbing perspectives coming in from various parts of the country. Let's particularly pick on Karnataka this time around. It is crucially important, Karnataka. How do you think it's going?
I think it's highly competitive in Karnataka. And like I said earlier, the competition is good. Congress, of course, is in power over there and will do everything that they can to get as many seats as possible. But I believe that the people of Karnataka will vote the BJP, and you will see a considerable rise in BJP seats as far as Karnataka is concerned. I have no doubt on that.
Okay, Basavaraj Bommai, former Chief Minister of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Karnataka, standing patiently in line in front of cameras, of course, to cast his vote, and a bit of a long line where he's competing. Okay, but Savio, obvious question. I mean, could the BJP certainly have been more vocal, more emphatic on what has happened in the Revanna case? I mean, he should have been disowned at the very get-go.
Rishabh, the BJP doesn't function in that manner. What is important before you arrive at any statement that needs to be made is to gather all the facts that are there at your disposal and not react to what media is necessarily saying at that point of time. And I believe the BJP has done the right thing after that. Revanna will never, ever be accepted as far as BJP is concerned. And that's what you've seen. Prime Minister Modi, in an interview to a television channel yesterday, very clearly stated the position of the BJP. We don't accept, we don't agree, and we don't support characters who are sexual predators and sexual perverts like Revanna. And that has been made very clear by Prime Minister Modi. But the thing what many people don't understand is an expecting of a reaction all of a sudden is not the manner in which BJP functions as far as very sensitive issues are concerned, and collation of data at that point of time is most important. And therefore, there has been a very concentrated, focused approach of the BJP as far as sexual abuse cases are concerned. And they've taken the right stand as far as this is concerned. Many people said, oh, BJP is not going to stand against this, the sexual predator, but they have taken the right stand and the stand that they have always taken.
Yeah, but okay, it's good to verify, but the BJP's own man is saying that I was the first person to get the videos, and I've seen them, and they were happening over a large period of time. And the man, meanwhile, has run off.
Rishabh, I agree with you, but in every institution, like let's say, for example, when you look at let's say a church for that matter, and there is an accusation that comes against a priest of sexual abuse, are you saying that the church comes out making a statement that is saying, okay, right? So every institution has a process. Because the process of verification is necessary.
It's a process. We are in the middle of an election. Every day counts. Okay. Could there have been more alacritous? Because sometimes you have to act and you have to be seen to be acting. Otherwise, you have to pay the price of somebody else's sins. And sins indeed have been committed. Trials have to be held. But the man ran away. He should not have been allowed to run away. Okay. And this is difficult to justify that, no matter what we do. Meanwhile, Mansukh Mandavia casting his vote in Gujarat, speaking immediately after to us. Let's listen in.
आज आपने मतदान किया है परिवार के साथ, क्या कहेंगे?
आज गुजरात में भावनगर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में पालिताना तहसील में हनोल, जो मेरा पैतृक गांव है, वहां पर मैंने वोटिंग करा। मैंने जनता में उत्साह देखा। जनता वोटिंग करने के लिए लाइन लगा रही है, जो आपने भी देखी होगी। ऐसा सारा गुजरात में माहौल है और इसलिए मैं देख रहा हूँ कि जनता का विश्वास भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रति है, जनता की श्रद्धा मोदी जी के प्रति है। इसलिए इस बार 370 प्लस 370 प्लस बीजेपी देश में सीट लाएगी और 400 प्लस से मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में फिर से एक बार एनडीए की सरकार बनेगी।
आपने देश का स्वास्थ्य ठीक किया है। पोरबंदर लोकसभा सीट में पहली बार चुनाव लड़ने जा रहे हैं, वहाँ के स्वास्थ्य के बारे में क्या सोचा है?
मैं पोरबंदर जब चुनाव लड़ रहा हूँ तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा महसूस हो रहा है। वो गांधी जी की जन्मभूमि है और गांधी जी की जन्मभूमि के नाते वो सारी दुनिया में पॉपुलर भी है, दुनिया पोरबंदर को जानता भी है। और जैसा मोदी जी ने नया भारत बनाने का विज़न लेके काम कर रहे हैं, वैसे मैं भी नया पोरबंदर बनाऊंगा।
क्योंकि बीजेपी के मैनिफेस्टो में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने लॉन्च जब किया था तो मैं वहीं पर था और हमने देखा कि जो मछुआरे हैं या फिर उन इलाकों के लिए ब्लू रिवोल्यूशन की बात की है, तो उसके लिए बीमा योजना मछुआरों के लिए बात की है, तो इसे लेकर के क्या क्या फायदे होने वाले हैं?
स्वाभाविक है, जो देश को 7,000 किलोमीटर की कोस्टल लाइन मिली हुई है, एक कोस्टल लाइन पर जीवन गुजारने वाले हमारे मछुआरे भाइयों बहनों को अपना जीवन सरल बने, उसको अच्छी स्वास्थ्य सुविधा मिले, उसको आजीविका के लिए बोट मिले, बोट के द्वारा वो फिशिंग करे, फिश प्रोसेस के यूनिट बने और उसकी इनकम बढ़े और वो अच्छी तरह से अपना जीवन को व्यतीत कर सके। इसलिए भारत सरकार की ओर से बहुत कुछ प्रयास हुआ है। मत्स्य संपदा योजना भी लागू है। उसके अलावा भी उसकी जीवन की सरलता के लिए उसको इंश्योरेंस भी मिलेगा ताकि उसकी आय सुनिश्चित रहे।
क्योंकि आपका गांव मैंने देखा काफ़ी अच्छा है, काफ़ी डेवलपमेंट हुआ है, लेकिन किसानों का गांव है और आप खुद खाद्य और उर्वरक मंत्री भी हैं, तो ड्रोन दीदी इन सब के लिए और आगे विस्तार करेंगे?
स्वाभाविक है, पहले तो हमें 15,000 ड्रोन दीदी बनाना है। हमारी गांव की बच्चियां, गांव की महिलाएं वो अपनी इनकम कर सके। एनजीओ के द्वारा वो एक ड्रोन खरीदे और ड्रोन से नैनो यूरिया, नैनो डीएपी और पेस्टिसाइड का स्प्रे करके वो अपनी इनकम बना सके। इसलिए हमने 1,000 ड्रोन दीदी ऑलरेडी बना दिया है और हम एक गांव-गांव में महिलाओं को ट्रेनिंग देंगे, पायलट बनाएंगे और वो ड्रोन उड़ाएगी। ये स्वप्न के साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं ताकि गांव में रहने वाली हमारी महिला भी सशक्त हो।
राजनीतिक सवाल है, राहुल गांधी को लेकर के पाकिस्तान का प्यार जाग गया है। फवाद हुसैन ने लगातार कह रहे हैं कि अगर आपकी सरकार आ गई तो उन्हें डर लगेगा, नफरत फैलेगा, क्योंकि पोरबंदर जो है पाकिस्तान के नज़दीक है, अरब सागर है। तो ऐसी स्थिति में क्या कहेंगे राहुल गांधी का पाकिस्तानी प्यार?
उसमें कांग्रेस की रीति नीति रही है, वो तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करते हैं। जब चुनाव आते हैं तो अनाप चुनाव बोलना, तुष्टीकरण करना और वोट लेके सरकार बनाना, लेकिन ये पिछले दशक में संभव नहीं हुआ, तो उसका इरिटेशन दिख रहा है।
एक बार तमाम जनता से, जो वोटर हैं उनसे, क्योंकि आपने वोट डाल दिया है, उंगली दिखा करके अपील करें।
मैं राज्य और देश की जनता को अपील करूंगा कि आप लोकशाही के एक महापर्व लोकसभा की आम चुनाव में अपना वोटिंग करें, डेवलपमेंट के लिए वोटिंग करें, नया भारत के लिए वोटिंग करें, भाजपा को वोट करें।
आखिरी सवाल, गुजरात में पहले भी आपकी शुरुआत हो गई है, एक सांसद पहले जीत करके निर्विरोध आ चुके हैं, 25 पे है, तो ऐसी स्थिति में आम आदमी पार्टी और इंडी गठबंधन इस बार चुनाव लड़ रहा है।
गुजरात में एक तरफा स्थिति है क्योंकि यहाँ 14 साल मोदी जी राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री रहे हैं, 10 साल से मोदी जी भारत सरकार के प्रधानमंत्री हैं। तो प्रधानमंत्री और मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर गुजरात में जो डेवलपमेंट हुआ है और गुजरात की जनता डेवलपमेंट को भली भांति जानती है, इसलिए यहाँ कांग्रेस का खाता पिछले 2 लोकसभा चुनाव में नहीं खुला है, इस बार भी नहीं खुलेंगे।
Okay, all right. There you had Mansukh Mandavia, of course, Union Minister for Health currently, and hoping that he wins the seat, contesting in Porbandar for the first time. A very interesting battle. He should win that seat and then hope to return to Parliament and potentially to a cabinet position. That's what the hope is going to be there. Let me get Nikhil in. Nikhil, so we were discussing Karnataka. Now, it is an important battleground state and there are important factors for the opposition. Number one is that they have come and formed a government without requiring the support of the JDS. Because if they had required the support of the JDS, this entire Ravanna scandal would have been biting the Congress and not the Bharatiya Janata Party as the ally. The second is that B.S. Yediyurappa, who just cast his vote and spoke to us this morning, is no longer as actively in politics as he was. And of course, his son is taking the fort, so there is a generational change. The last time the BJP went to election in Karnataka without the umbrella of B.S. Yediyurappa, it turned out to be a bit of a shock. So, Nikhil, how is Karnataka panning out for you?
First of all, Rishabh, I would like to add on to something Savio said. Savio said that the BJP has already taken action and already made a statement against Prajwal Devarna. Let me remind you, viewers that Prajwal Revanna, the person accused of mass sexual assault and rape, is the same person who contested in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and the BJP has not distanced itself from Prajwal Revanna or from the JDS. So just to say that the Prime Minister has already made his view very clear that I am against sexual predators, but I am all right having a sexual predator like Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh's son or like Prajwal Revanna, either in my party or in alliance with me. That is nothing but hypocrisy. The fact is that the BJP is trying to create alliances with all the different parties in the country in order to somehow cobble together and pass that single majority.
I think the BJP should have been more alacritous because action to be done, to be seen to be done. If one of their party leaders had knowledge of these activities and didn't reveal them before, we don't know why. How this man managed to get out of the country is a farcical joke. It should not have happened. And yes, is it going to make it a point of defense for the BJP, put them on the back foot? Absolutely, it is, and it should. That's your ally. That's one of the biggest family members of that ally. It's a party that is not interested in family, the Bharatiya Janata Party, but the JDS certainly is. And whether the former Prime Minister helped him out, didn't help him out, whether his father helped him out, didn't help him out, the bottom line is one person has been arrested and it's not the prime accused. That's pressure, action, but it's not everything. That doesn't mean that that pots don't call the kettle black. I mean, let's face it, Arvind Kejriwal and Rahul Gandhi have been spending a lot of time hanging out with Lalu Prasad Yadav, who is accused of a lot of nasty things in this country as well. Perhaps exactly what Revanna is accused of, not being equivalent. But my question then, Nikhil, was, having established that it is a problem, and you mentioned correctly, his constituency is over. So if there's a problem to be faced, it's the BJP's problem now. But in terms of the seats for the Congress in Karnataka, which is fundamentally important for them, where do you see this going?
Rishabh, I see 12 to 14 seats for the Congress in Karnataka, and the reasons for this are very simple. That right now, as your surveys have also shown, unemployment is the biggest issue in the country. Karnataka, except the coastal part of Karnataka, is not a state where the BJP's bookie of polarization or communal hatred and all of that can fly so well. On the other hand, you have a Karnataka government which is proving, a Congress government in Karnataka, which is proving the welfare model of the Congress that it has proposed in the Lok Sabha elections, as well as has proposed in the past few state elections as well. And it's working completely all right. And I think the people of Karnataka would realize that this is a more sustainable model than a hateful model that the BJP has to offer, which is why I feel it would be a significant dent for the BJP in the state of Karnataka. Okay,
it was a lot more difficult last time around, remember, where the Bharatiya Janata Party took away 25 seats and one independent supporter of the Bharatiya Janata Party took away yet another one, and the Congress performance was a total disaster. So, are you predicting plus 10 for the Congress? If so, in Karnataka, then what's your overall tally for the Congress and the India Alliance looking?
Rishabh, my overall tally would be somewhere around 250 to 300. And let me add a caveat to that. I doubt that the India Alliance members, as they are currently, are going to reach 300. What I feel is that the India Alliance plus parties that are currently in the NDA might very well be in a situation to form the government. So basically what I'm hinting at is the BJP going under 250, the Congress around 100, 120, the current India Alliance members perhaps around 250, and
but
Nikhil, other parties which are currently with the NDA forming a government.
Okay, so Nikhil, where do the 120 come from? Let's say the Congress is starting off at 55, okay? So where you're saying plus 10 or plus 12 in Karnataka, so that according to you takes it to 67. Where are the balance 50-60 seats coming from?
So look at the state of Rajasthan. Rajasthan, I think, has 24 seats, all 24 or 25 seats. All of them went to the BJP. This time around, the Congress is gaining a lot from the fact that the Jats have essentially boycotted the BJP. The Rajputs are boycotting the BJP. The Congress has a good ally in the form of Bharatiya Adivasi Party.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Nikhil. The President of the Congress, Mallikarjun Kharge, speaking. Let's listen in.
लाएंगे और भारी बहुमत से चुन के देंगे, ये सबका कहना है.
Sir, do you think there hasn't been any development, strong development, much needed development?
No, that won't work now if I tell. Today is voting. What benefit I will get by telling and criticizing? Today only I appeal to everybody, go and vote, and whomsoever they want, they vote. But only thing is that I told you what mistake they did earlier, they don't want to do it now, and they are repenting it because they said because we lost Congress candidate last time, so our development is also stopped, and this time we will not give chance to that complaint.
किस तरह के बंदोबस्त
नहीं, वो सब लोग बंदोबस्त पुलिस का भी अच्छा है, लोग भी एक हो गए हैं। देखो, छोटे मोटे जो भी घटनाएं होते हैं, यहाँ पर पुलिस है और समझदार लीडर्स हैं हर समाज में, वो मिल के काम करते हैं। और इलेक्शन एक अलग चीज़ है, छोटे मोटे घटनाएं होना एक अलग चीज़ है। उसको संभालने के लिए मैच्योर्ड लीडरशिप हर कम्युनिटी में है और वो लोग इसको सुलझा रहे हैं।
Okay, Mallikarjun Kharge speaking out this morning. Of course, remember, he is from Karnataka, and it was primarily because Kharge, Siddaramaiah, DK Shivkumar managed to put aside their differences, and don't kid yourself, there are differences, and work together to deliver a victory for the Congress in Karnataka, not dependent upon the JDS, that their prospects in the state have looked up. Does that mean that Siddaramaiah, remember, who was to be part of the JDS before he joined the Congress? Well, the reality check is that Lok Sabha election slightly different. Okay, so let's get back to Nikhil. Nikhil, you're hoping plus 10 in Rajasthan. So now the figure takes us from 65 to 75. Where else? I mean, where else? It's not going to be in Bengal. It's not UP. It's not Gujarat. What? Maybe 2-3 in Haryana. Maybe 1 in Delhi. Where else? Where are the 40-50 other seats coming from?
State by state. I'm looking at about a gain of 3 to 4 in Haryana. I'm looking at a gain of about 1 to 2 in Himachal, about 1 in Uttarakhand. Then I'm looking at a gain of about 3 to 4 in Uttar Pradesh. For the Congress, I'm saying, I'm not saying for the India Alliance, I expect a much larger tally for the Samajwadi Party. Similarly, in Rajasthan, I'm expecting about 10 to 15 gain. Madhya Pradesh, 2 to 3 gain. And in Gujarat, perhaps a single seat gain. In Karnataka, I've already mentioned the 10 to 15 seat gain.
Yeah.
Then in Tamil Nadu, you already, I think the numbers would be the same.
Yeah, will be the same,
Tamil
5 or
Nadu
6. Yeah, Kerala should be the same. I mean, they got 15 last time, so can't be a lot better than that.
Correct.
Yeah, so that is that's still not triple digits.
Northeast as well.
Okay, the Northeast will have, it's not going to be Meghalaya. So it's going to have to be Assam 14 seats over there. Manipur,
Manipur most certainly.
Yeah, okay, Manipur, so that's 2 seats. Okay, so we are still, ladies and gentlemen, despite all of this, struggling for the Congress to make it into triple digits, despite the...
In Telangana, you have a space for the Congress party. Again, going on the back of the fact that you have a government there, as well as good delivery of welfare schemes.
Okay.
And Delhi also. Delhi about 2 to 3 seats came for the Congress.
Delhi to win 3 out of 4 contested. Probably not. Okay, that's going to be a leap of imagination. But who knows? Who knows what happens? Sweep for the BJP in Delhi this last time around. This time, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party are working together. Arvind Kejriwal will be out campaigning soon. Depending on whether the Supreme Court gives him bail, we'll find out. Let me get in George Kurian on this. Mr. Kurian, of course, you were mentioning earlier, so let's now work this out. 290, you said that the alliance will get. The chunky parts of that will have to be from the TMC. You are hoping what? TMC 20, 25? What are you hoping on DMK? 25, 26?
Well, TMC in West Bengal 28 is what I'm confident that it will crack, and BJP around 10 seats, Congress around 3 and left 1. And Tamil Nadu DMK would be 30, Congress would be 9 seats in Tamil Nadu. That's my...
okay, so 2 states. Kerala, we are assuming 15 or 16 for the Congress?
Definitely is good without saying. Kerala it will be 20 of 20 because it's totally going to come to
Okay, so
India.
between the 2 major allies, which is the TMC and the DMK, okay, which are the 2 major allies, okay? And the Congress, you are saying 3 states, 75 seats. That still leaves us short of 215. Where the balance coming from, sir? Okay, hang a second. Supriya Sule speaking out. She just voted in Baramati with her father. Let's try to see if we can listen in. Can we?
एक मिनिट माझी सगळ्या पत्रकारांना विनंती आहे की इथे महिला
She will speak shortly. There's a lot of media presence there. Remember Sharad Pawar, Supriya Sule versus Ajit Pawar and his wife. What an epic contest. Ajit Pawar with a point to prove, as we were discussing. Mr. Kurian, let's get back to this conversation. Okay, so two allies, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Bengal. You say 75 seats out of just these three states. Let's discuss the big one, sir. UP. Congress won one seat last time, of course, epically losing Amethi. This time around, the Akhilesh Yadav is fighting in, his family is relying on Mainpuri, is going to be relying on Budaun. They won 5-6 seats last time. Do you expect a reversal? If so, how many seats? 20, 30 from UP? What are you hoping for?
Rishabh, let me reiterate for the benefit of your audience. Don't go by the statistics that is of 2019 or 2014 for that matter. Things are going to be very different this time around. In 2024, as I said earlier, let me reiterate. The Congress Congress along with the India bloc is going to form the government. Congress on its own will be around 150 plus minus 10% here and there.
No, 150 plus, but where are the seats going to come from, sir? Can you do 150 plus without winning 2030 in UP?
I will give you the breakup. And coming to the India bloc, it will be 140 plus minus 10% here and there. So in total, it will be 290 plus. Be rest assured, the Bharatiya Janata Party will be decimated to 150 and with their India alliance below.
Sir, I discount nothing, so everything is possible in politics. But where 150 seats, where are they coming from? Where for the Congress party to win 150 seats, where are they going to win? They're not winning them in Kashmir. They're not winning them in Gujarat.
Give me an opportunity to speak. I'll just let you know. Karnataka, I'm looking at Congress around 16 seats, BJP 10 seats, JDS 2. Madhya Pradesh out of 29, BJP 7, Congress 22. Delhi, it will be all 7 out of 7, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. BJP will be 0 in Karnataka, Delhi. Bihar out of 40, BJP 12, JDU 6 seats. Congress out of 8 seats that we are contesting will win 5 and RJD will be 15 seats. Coming to Rajasthan out of 25, BJP will be decimated to 6, Congress will be 19 seats, Gujarat out of 26, BJP will be 15, Congress will be 10, others will be 1. Uttar Pradesh, as I said earlier, BJP will be around 35 and with their alliance around 2 seats, Congress 10 and Samajwadi Party 31.
Okay, now hold it there. Okay, hold it there because...
I'm coming to Maharashtra.
Yeah, Maharashtra, go ahead.
Maharashtra, BJP, I'm giving 14 seats to BJP, Congress 10 seats and ally, that is Eknath Shinde, I'm giving him... Eknath Shinde will be around 5 seats and NCP Ajit Pawar will be around 1 seat, Congress 10, Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray 14 and NCP Sharad Pawar will be 4. So this is over and
okay, all right. Okay, thank you for qualifying the number for us because at least we have something to talk about. Alok Mehta is slightly smiling. Alok ji, so this is predicated on the fact that there is a complete about turn, not a close contest, but an about turn, a counter sweep in Madhya Pradesh, a counter sweep in Rajasthan, a complete collapse in Bihar and a complete collapse because for the BJP to go down from 65 to 35 would be a complete collapse in UP. Does UP look like it's about to collapse from what you saw in Ayodhya a couple of days ago?
Rishabh, not only UP but for other states also, because I'm not predicting and I always respect the others who feel in democracy and they have the right to dream or think about it. Astrologer used to also tell us since long in Mrs. Gandhi days from Chandra Swami and all, they used to talk Boni Baba. I know these kind of astrologers were also talking about for the Congress party or other parties also. So I feel in an opinion poll also, I never believe in opinion polls because the voters a local level, you see all the time our reporters are mentioning what kind of problem they are facing in local level. Then they see the national level for the Lok Sabha election. I think that's why I differ with our respected panelists because, you know, you can't think in Rajasthan. I know Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, I belong to this area. That's why I feel how you can predict like this. You see, even in Uttar Pradesh, maybe you can say, okay, 10 seats for Akhilesh Yadav and Congress get 2-3 seats, still I can understand. But because I can't believe it, I can't predict, because it depends on how voters will turn out.
Okay.
Predicting. That's why I deferred yesterday also. Somebody asked me that give your state-wise. I said no, because always depend how you can reach to the people, and then people will vote for you.
Okay, to be reasonable, if somebody had told us in 2013 that the BJP will win 70 seats in UP and then win 300 plus seats in the assembly, it would have been completely absurd. Okay, Mayawati and Akhilesh would have laughed at you, but it did happen. Okay, if somebody had said that the DMK was sitting at 0 seats, Thanga, nothing, would make a comeback and sweep, well, that would have been more understandable. So, ladies and gentlemen, swings do happen, wild swings do happen, from 0 to hero does happen. So, it can happen. Are we getting the flavor that indeed it is happening? Or if there is an advantage, it's a mild change. It seems to be mild change, it doesn't seem to be a swing. And who knows, so far Narendra Modi has only surprised us on the upside. He always surprises us by doing better than people expected him to do. Could this be different, break the trend? Who knows? I'm going to take a break. See you in a couple of minutes.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.